I graduated in 2021, and around then, you know how the self improvement space on YouTube was kind of crazy? It was kind of popping off. Around then, I was just fresh out of high school, so I had no years of gym under my belt, and I had really no way to compete with these people that were sort of preaching online about going to the gym and about starting your own business, and I felt so behind. It wasn't frustrating in the sense that it felt that these things were impossible. It was more frustrating that there was this mountain of work that I had to kind of get through to achieve these things. And there was nothing I could do in the immediate moment to sort of improve myself. And that's where the topic of today's video comes in. Fragrances. Fragrance, or men's cologne, was something that I could get into straight away, and it was something that I could instantly improve on. It was like getting a haircut or shaving the middle part of your monobrow. It's something you can take action on right away, and it puts you leagues above someone who either doesn't have a scent or, even worse, smells bad. I'm personally a big advocate in improving your fragrance game, and I've set this video up to anyone who's trying to get into it for the first time. Now, a few things to note before we get started. Your main goals with fragrances should be to 1, smell good, and 2, actually like what you wear. There's no point of buying a scent if you don't like it yourself, because you're never going to wear it and it'll be a waste. And this is speaking from experience. I've bought a cologne that I'm not really a huge fan of, and I don't really wear it at all. It's important to note that all scents smell different on different people's skin. It's because of your own unique skin chemistry, and you need to test out scents on your own skin before you actually buy them. You typically have 3 levels of scents. You have eau de toilette, eau de parfum, and parfum. Typically, the more expensive the fragrance is, the higher concentration it is, and the longer lasting it's going to be on your skin. There are also some terms you want to familiarize yourself with. Longevity is how long the fragrance stays on your skin. Projection is how far people can smell you from. Sillage is the trail that the scent leaves behind you. And then we have top, middle, and base notes. Notes of a fragrance are just different aromas of the fragrance that come out at different times of the fragrance duration. Top notes come out at the beginning of a fragrance duration, middle notes come out in the middle of the fragrance duration, and base notes come out towards the end of the fragrance duration. These terms are the main terms used in the fragrance community when discussing quality and quantity of different fragrances, so you want to watch out for them. So I'm going to recommend fragrances in a set of 4 and then a set of 2 for those of you on a budget. I really don't recommend only having one fragrance because I think it's very easy to get sick of it. And when you get sick of it, you need something different to throw in the mix. So the first one I'd recommend is your everyday cologne. Something you wouldn't mind spraying on daily just for your casual outing. Typically, everyday colognes are pretty fresh and pretty versatile. And my go-to recommendation would be YSL. It's super popular and it smells great. Your second cologne should be something enticing, something sweet, something a bit sexy for your date nights. Personally, I recommend Givenchy Gentleman's Society. It starts off as a vanilla and then kind of mellows down into a very, very sweet, beautiful woody scent. It's one of my favorites and one of my top recommendations on this list. Your third cologne should be for any formal events. Anything with suits, it's your go-to. My recommendation would be Mont Blanc Explorer. It is a clone of the well-known Creed Ventus, and I think it's great for these formal events where you have to kind of give a sophisticated vibe. So you've got your everyday cologne, you've got your date night cologne, and you've got something for when suits and ties are involved. Now, to tie it all together, I do recommend having a distinct summer scent, just because I think the summer scents are more unique and individual, and I think they stand out a lot. And I personally do recommend having a unique scent for summer. Also because I just wanted to recommend one of my favorite ones, Jean Paul Gaultier. This is Le Beau Le Parfum, and it's just an amazing coconut woody scent. And on my skin, it lasts a pretty long while, so it's one of my favorites as well. Now, for those of you with tighter budgets or just don't want to spend as much on 4 different colognes, I really recommend that you buy at least 2. Just because, as I said earlier, you can get really sick of just the one that you spray. I personally recommend having a date night cologne and your signature scent, so your everyday. Speaking from experience, everyone's gotten sick of one of their colognes at least once, and it's definitely good to have something to throw in the mix. Now, the places I spray my cologne would be 1 on the neck here, and 1 behind each ear, and then 2 on the wrists. one for each wrist, of course, depending on the strength of the scent that I'm using. Sometimes with parfum, I might dial it down a little bit because you don't want to choke people out with your scent. Now, you can buy travel sprays. I know Mont Blanc Explorer has a little 30ml version. I used to have it, but I think I threw it out. It's a very useful travel spray, and I could just spray it on whenever one of my other scents were fading during the day to reapply. And you can get travel sprays where you can kind of screw it onto the top of your fragrance and fill it up. And they are super helpful when it comes to times where you need to reapply. Now, for some general tips. Don't buy first time on the spot. Make sure you spray it on your skin and smell it throughout the day so you can smell what the scent turns into at different parts of the day. Make sure you smell all variants on your skin. So, eau de toilette, eau de parfum, and parfum, because sometimes they can have different ingredients. For example, Dior Sauvage. As you can see, each variant of Dior Sauvage has a different scent profile. So, in order to see which one best fits your skin, it's best to try them all out. Another thing is, don't look to Tom Ford, Joe Malone, or any of those expensive designer brands for your first fragrance. Liquor is a good brand that does fragrances for around the normal cost. That I would consider looking into, but just for your first fragrance, I'd recommend keeping it something that you like and something that isn't too costly for what the scent offers. Is where I would draw the line. Um, we've got David Beckham Classic, and we've got Calvin Klein Air. These two are very good. They're pretty cheap, and they're good for kind of getting your foot in the door. So yeah, that is that. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Yeah, fragrances is kind of a hobby that I've been getting into, and I just wanted to share what I've learned so far with you guys.